Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Board of County Commissioners meeting for June 4th. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, again, good morning, and we'll jump right into our agenda. The first thing we have on our agenda are our minutes, and we have two meetings, one for a special meeting and then our last meeting. Do we have any additions or corrections?
No. I move to approve this proceeding for the Board of County Commissioners for Montezuma County for Tuesday, May 21st, 2024, and also the proceedings for the Board of County Commissioners for Montezuma County for May 23rd, 2024 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the proceedings of the Board of Commissioners, Montezuma County for May 21st, 2024 and May 23rd, 2024. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, with that, next we have planning. Come on down, and do we have everybody here? All right. Being time set aside for this public hearing, it's a continuation. Would you call the roll, Kim?
Commissioner Candelaria.
Here.
Commissioner Lindsay.
Here.
Commissioner Copenhaver.
Here.
Administrator Anderson.
Here.
Attorney McLaren.
Here.
And Kim Purcell, Montezuma County Clerk and Recorder. This is a revised public notice with the address correction at 40752 Road J. Notice is hereby given that the Montezuma County Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing for review and determination regarding a proposed three-lot minor subdivision in AR 10-34 rezoning application submitted by Margaret Johnson Gaddis Estate, agent Keenen Lovett, on property located at 40752 Road J, Mancos, Colorado, consisting of 69 acres more or less, located east of Road 39, south of Road J, situated in Section 32, Township 36 North, Range 13 West, N.M.P.M. The hearing will be held Tuesday, June 4th, 2024 at 9 a.m. in the Commissioner's Hearing Room, Montezuma County Administrative Offices, 109 West Main, Cortez, Colorado. Interested persons may attend and give input. Information may be obtained from the Planning Office online services at https://co-montezuma-co.smartgovcommunity.com public home. You may also contact the Planning Department at 970-565-2801 with questions. Dated this 14th day of May 2024, Kim Purcell Clerk, Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County, Colorado. Published in the Journal on Wednesday, May 15th, 2024.
All right. Okay, Don, let's see if we can get through this one this time.
All right.
Go ahead and give us an overview on this.
The Margaret Gaddis Estate, they are proposing a three-lot minor subdivision. This is just southwest of Mancos on Road J. The north property there is the Medicine Horse Center. That's been there for a long time. And then the other two lots are just the ag land south of there. There is a proposed easement that would run between Lot 1 and 2 to the rest of the property on the south. There's no other residences, infrastructure on Lot 1 and 2, just on Lot 3. That's basically it.
Pretty straightforward. The easement is there to access the lower, I guess, southern properties, and it's 26 acre lots.
Correct.
Okay. And my only question was the water issue that we have over there in Mancos, and reading the letter from the Mancos Road Water Company.
We have the letter. There's plenty of water and plenty of pressure on that section.
Okay. Commissioners, questions?
I don't have anything else.
Okay. Would you like to add anything, Mr. Lovett?
No, I don't really have anything further. I'm here to answer questions, but no, that was perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, very good. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward, and we've looked at this already. So at this point in time, I will open this application up for public comment. Anybody wishing to speak for or against this application, please come forward to the podium, state your name and address for the record prior to providing your comments, and you may address the board at this time. Okay. Seeing no public comment, I will close the public comment section of this application and bring it back to the commissioners. Gentlemen.
Our address correction's been made and questions been answered. I don't have anything else.
Okay. Commissioner, anything?
I guess that, the only question I had, where this is that Medicine Horse Center part, is, I was just wondering about the zoning or how that should be done. Should that be addressed at this time? I'm just asking.
This is just a subdivision application. If there's going to be anything different, the
It does
Medicine Horse already exists.
It does include the rezoning. I guess, I'm not real sure if or where it
That's
falls
why
in.
I asked, because I was there last night.
Because it's basically, I just looked at it as being an agricultural business, not really a defined commercial agribusiness or industrial agribusiness, but it's been there forever. I guess I don't know all the specifics of their operation. Maybe Keenen, you can elaborate?
Yeah, and I mean, I can say that there are covenants that are going to be recorded upon the final approval of this that are specific and has been provided to the planning and zoning that don't allow for any change of use of the Medicine Horse property. You know, it cannot be expanded into a more invasive commercial use or anything else. If the estate that is doing the subdivision will actually retain that specific lot. Medicine Horse leases that area, so the estate will remain in control, and if that lease ever goes away, then it'll just revert back to pure residential. So there should not be any change of use, and the covenants restrict against any further expansion of commercial.
I guess I don't know much about Medicine Horse. What?
It's a therapy center where they utilize horses and equestrian to provide individuals, therapy for all different types of mental, physical, type ailments. It's a nonprofit organization.
That facility's been there for a long time too.
I'm not, that thing's been there for a long time. There's no
Yeah.
doubt. I would just,
So these are just being split up as with your covenants, the residential lots as they stand, and then if that ever changed with the Medicine Horse, it just reverts back to the Gaddis Estate as a residential lot of the subdivision, correct?
Correct. Yeah, like I said, the Gaddis Estate will still own it and always has and still will
Yep.
own it moving forward. It's leased to the Medicine Horse, but in the event that it's ever sold, the covenants don't allow for any further expansion of that lot at all, as far as use goes.
Yeah. I don't, nothing else.
So Don, is it your perspective that Medicine Horse is in compliance at this point because it's grandfathered in, or because? That's my only concern. We've got, in essence, what sounds like a commercial business on an AR property. And I'm just wondering.
I don't know if is it commercial, but it's a not-for-profit organization that,
Well, and I mean, just if you had trail rides on a ag land, really does not mean that has to be zoned commercial or anything. It's one of those deals where ag conducted operations really cover a lot, and there's a lot of gray area. I don't see that it goes across the threshold, one, being grandfathered in, but because we're subdividing, looking at it as, I guess, needing to meet a higher threshold to be rezoned for something more than what's being operated there. I guess I don't know the exact number of people there per day, per week, but I don't think it's that elaborate of an operation. It's definitely not high impact permit, not like they're,
No,
running
it's not.
15 people there.
It's a very low impact.
So certainly the land use code, section 3106.1, agricultural primary uses, it talks about agricultural tourism uses, guiding, outfitting, stables and riding, theme farms and farm tours. It seems like this would fall under that.
It should fall
I would
under
think that would
It
be
should.
exactly where it would fall. And so I just want to be sure we have a record of, hey, this is what that looks like. So I think we're fine to move forward.
Yeah, I don't think it gets anywhere near a threshold of something close to even, commercial agribusiness or anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
You okay?
Yeah.
You guys okay? I move we approve this 3-lot minor subdivision and AR 10 to 34 rezoning application submitted by Margaret Johnson Gaddis Estate on property located at 4752 Road J, Mancos, Colorado, consisting of 69 acres.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept this proposed 3-lot minor subdivision and AR 10 through 34 rezoning application submitted by Margaret Johnson Gaddis Estate, agent Keenen Lovett, on property located at 40752 Road J, Mancos, Colorado, consisting of 69 acres more or less. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. You are good to go, sir.
thank you.
Thank you. Yep.
Thank
I will
you.
close this public hearing.
Thanks, Keith.
Okay, we are on time for our second public hearing. So do we have any applicants? I see
Yes.
somebody in the back there.
Chris Snyder is here for Empire Electric.
And I'll recuse myself from the proceedings.
Close that door too, Ken. All right, this being time set aside for a public hearing for Empire Electric Association, would you call the roll? Kim?
Commissioner Candelaria.
Here.
Commissioner Copenhager.
Here.
Administrator Anderson.
Here.
Attorney McLaren.
Here.
Kim Purcell, Montezuma County Clerk and Recorder. Notice is hereby given that the Montezuma County Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing for review and determination regarding a proposed high-impact permit amendment application to high-impact permit number 622 submitted by Empire Electric Association Incorporated, agent Christopher Snyder, on property located at 23999 Road L.4, Cortez, Colorado, consisting of 36.98 acres more or less, all located north of Road L, west of Highway 491, situated in Section 16, Township 36 North, Range 16 West, N.M.P.M. The hearing will be held Tuesday, June 4th, 2024 at 9:10 a.m. in the Commissioners' Hearing Room, Montezuma County Administrative Offices, 109 West Main, Cortez, Colorado. Interested persons may attend and give input. Information may be obtained from the Planning Office online service at https://co-montezuma-co.smartgovcommunity.com public home. You may also contact the Planning Department at 970-565-2801 with questions. dated this 20th day of May, 2024. Kim Purcell, Clerk, Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County, Colorado, published in the Journal on Wednesday, May 21st, 2024.
All right, thank you, Kim. Okay, Don, give us an overview on this one, please.
Yes, Empire Electric is proposing to amend their existing high-impact permit, number 622. The original plan incorporated the office building that currently is in town on North Broadway. So the traffic that was reviewed with CDOT on L.4, along with the location and the septic part that was installed for the operations and engineering building, also accounted for the business office to be located there. It's just happening about 10 years later than the original plan. So now due to funding and whatnot, they're proposing to build out their campus and have everything contained at that one location.
Okay, Mr. Snyder, would you like to add anything? Okay, all right. Any questions right now, Commissioner?
I don't have any right now.
Okay, well then I will open this up for public hearing, public comment for this application. Anybody wishing to speak for or against this application, please come forward to the podium, state your name and address for the record prior to providing your comments, and you may address the board at this time. All right, seeing no public comment, I'll close the public comment session of this application and bring it back. I think this was something, when this was originally proposed, this was always talked about at that point in time. It's just now coming to fruition, so I don't think it's anything new at all.
Not really, because when I was on the commission before, we went through this process to set this whole campus up for them out there, and all of these issues were addressed, and that I think all the neighbors knew at some point in time this administration building and stuff was going to move out there. So I think most of these issues have been sorted through previously, and I personally, I don't have any problem with it. I think it'll be good for the community.
And all get on
Basically,
one campus makes a lot of sense.
I think safety-wise, I think it will be a good thing for them not to be on this corner out here.
Definitely.
That's my
Yeah.
feeling. So I'm glad to see it move
Yeah.
myself.
Well, and certainly in looking at the application, and no public comment today, but I don't see that this building's going to add any significant adverse impacts to opposing properties. This seems like it's
And
in
like
line
we
with the
said,
code.
this is, I think everybody's known about this in this community for a long time. It just has never happened. Okay.
I'm fine. You good? Okay. I move to approve this proposed high-impact permit amendment application to high-impact permit number 622 submitted by Empire Electric Association agent Christopher Snyder on property located at 23999 Road L.4 Cortez, consisting of 36.98 acres.
And I'll second it. It's been moved and seconded to accept the proposed high-impact permit amendment application to the high-impact permit number 622 submitted by Empire Electric Association Incorporated, agent Christopher Snyder, on property located at 23999 Road L.4 Cortez, Colorado. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. You are good to go, sir. Thank you very much, and I will close this public hearing.
Did you bring your sign? Thanks, Chris. I can't remember. I think he needs to bring it. Chris said he'd bring it. Yeah, I didn't ask Keenen. He picked up the new sign when we did the new date.
Okay, and we have another public hearing. Are the applicants here?
Mr. Hackett is here.
All right. With that, Kim, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Candelaria.
Here.
Commissioner Lindsey.
Here.
Commissioner Copenhaver.
Here.
Administrator Anderson.
Here.
Attorney McLaren.
Here.
And Kim Purcell, Montezuma County Clerk and Recorder. Notice is hereby given that the Montezuma County Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing for review and determination of a proposed subdivision and AR 3-9 rezoning application submitted by Harvey and Sharon Hackett and Ted and Shauna Gray on property located at to be determined Road H, Cortez, Colorado, consisting of 41.32 acres more or less, located south of Road H, east of Road 27, situated in Section 4, Township 35 North, ranked 15 West, N.M.P.M. The hearing will be held Tuesday, June 4th, 2024 at 9:20 a.m. in the Commissioners' Hearing Room, Montezuma County Administrative Offices, 109 West Main, Cortez, Colorado. Interested persons may attend and give input. Information may be obtained from the Planning Office online services at https://montezuma-co.smartgovcommunity.com public home. You may also contact the Planning Department at 970-565-2801 with questions. Dated this 21st day of May, 2024, Kim Purcell, Clerk, Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County, Colorado. Published in the Cortez Journal on Wednesday, May 22nd, 2024.
Okay, thank you, Kim. Okay, Don, overview on this one.
Sure. The owners are proposing a single lot development on the northeast corner of their parcel, south of town, 3.2 acres. The rest remaining will stay with them. Mr. Hackett is proposing to build a house on the remaining acres, and they're looking to sell the single lot development. There's an access easement right down through the middle of the property that gives access to the parcel south of theirs.
All right, would you like to add anything, Mr. Hackett? Okay, Commissioners, questions?
Not at this time.
Okay.
No, right now.
Okay.
I'm okay.
All right, well, having no questions, I will open this application up for public comment. Anybody wishing to speak for or against this application, please come forward to the podium. State your name and address for the record prior to providing your comments, and you may address the board at this time.
My name's Warren Gaspar, 29057 Road H, and I'm the property complete just to the north of Mr. Hackett's property. And I just wanted to say I support what he's trying to do. I find him to be a good neighbor. He's been very helpful in talking and telling us what he's doing, and he will end up being my neighbor across the street, so I support what he's trying to do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next. All right, seeing no further public comment, I'll close the public comment section of this application and bring it back to the commissioners. Any other questions at all, gentlemen?
I don't have any. There should be water service there and everything, so there shouldn't be any.
Yeah.
What was planning and zoning's recommendation?
They were unanimous 3-0 to recommend it for approval.
And certainly when you look at the zoning map, there's AR 3 through 9 zoning right across the road. And I think given that, I don't see any significant adverse impacts. We haven't heard any evidence of significant adverse impacts today. It certainly seems to conform with the code.
All right, gentlemen.
I would so move we approve the proposed subdivision AR 3 through 9 rezoning application submitted by Harvey and Sharon Hackett and Ted and Shauna Gray on property located to be determined Road H, Cortez, Colorado.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the proposed subdivision and AR 3 through 9 rezoning application submitted by Harvey and Sharon Hackett and Ted and Shauna Gray on property located at TBD Road H, Cortez, Colorado. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. You are good to go, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And I will close this public hearing, Kim. 9:26.
Say you dish 'em out. Then our remaining
All right.
items are signatures.
Signatures. It looks like we have 3 of them.
Correct. We'll need
So-
all 3 of you to sign the Mylar and the high-impact permit, special use permit, and then just Commissioner Candelaria on the variance.
Okay. Here we go. Roll them out.
Yeah.
Let me down.
Play a little Sammy Davis, you know, court's in session. You're just gonna break me down. You feel like we're just all the time. We gotta give you some slack. That's all I got.
Okay. Do you have anything else for us?
I do not believe so, not for today.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. All right, moving along, we will have our public comment session now. The Board of County Commissioners welcomes you to this meeting. Person speaking during public comment will be limited to 3 minutes, or depending on the number of people wishing to speak, it may be reduced to allow all the members of the public the opportunity to address the board. When addressing the board, please state your name and address for the record prior to providing your comments, and comments to individual supervisors or staff are not permitted, and participants may not yield their time to other. With that, the public comment session is open.
Open.
Good morning.
Hi, my name is Laura York. I still live at 28770 Road L.8, and I'm here again to talk about election integrity. This year, the Republican Women of Montezuma County had a booth at the Ag Expo, Home and Garden Show, and the Gun Show. At our booth, we presented 4 survey questions for the general public and asked people to sign with their name and addresses, expressing their opinions. Our first impression, probably 99% of the people asked, "Do you trust the elections in Colorado?" The answer was a quick no, and they often added, "and in the rest of the country." Then we had 4 questions on paper and asked people to sign if they agreed with the question. Many people only signed 1 or 2 of our surveys, even if they agreed by voice that they said yes to all the questions, because it took a lot of time to fill out the surveys. We now have names, addresses, and signatures of the people who answered yes to these 4 questions. These are what we have. Question 1, we believe that our current election system in Colorado is fraudulent, and we do not trust it. 140 people signed this one. We do not trust the election machines. We want no machines involved in our elections, and we want to go back to hand counting votes. 135 people signed this one. Question 3, I am willing to volunteer to be involved in the process of hand counting our votes in Montezuma County. This may involve 1 or 2 days of training and several days of counting. 56 people were willing to volunteer. 4, would you be willing to attend one or more Board of Commissioner meetings to speak about election machines and request hand counting our votes in the future? Only 23 people signed this one. And I understand why so few people signed this last question. It's a big disruption in your day to attend a 9 a.m. meeting to only be allowed to speak for 3 minutes, especially on this issue. Free and fair elections affect our entire lives and the future of our country. The freedoms we grew up with and that are promised to us by our Constitution have disappeared, and these changes cannot be stopped without free and fair elections. And all we get is 3 minutes. I believe our surveys show that the Montezuma County citizens do not trust our elections. Your job as a commissioner is to represent the citizens of this county. We who elected you and gave you this job running this county. I hope that you should care about making sure our elections are transparent and trustworthy. The many rules that our corrupt Secretary of State has put out are unconstitutional. And you are the leaders of our county. You have the power to make our elections transparent. The fraud in our election system is multifaceted and complex, and there is Seth Cashell's list of the 10 things we need to do to fix our elections. 1, clean out the voter rolls. 2, ban all electronic equipment. 3, voter ID with paper ballots only. Ban mail-in ballots. Ban early voting. Drastically smaller precincts. Ban ballot harvesting. Make Election Day a holiday. New reporting requirements for all transparency, and heavy prison sentences for all commit fraud. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Good morning. Susan Chemnitz,
Good morning.
511 South Cedar Street. I'd like to speak about the elephant in the room, election integrity. I call it that because while there are posts and forums that assure us that our election process is safe and fair, we never once hear about the real problem, the machines, and how that will be addressed. We, the people, have come up with a solution to that, hand counts alongside the regular process. But so far, there seems to be lots of roadblocks to prevent this. This is why I would like to request that you take note of the term public perception as it pertains to election security. If you refuse to implement a process that will give voters a real sense of security about their votes, by proving or disproving machine accuracy, then voters will perceive that they aren't being heard and represented. The public perception could be that when nothing is done, that county officials are essentially complicit in any fraud that occurs. This perception can lead to a breakdown of trust, not only in the electoral process, but an erosion of trust in elected officials. I already hear people say they won't vote because the elections are rigged. Please don't let the trust we have in you to truly represent us to be further eroded. Do the right thing and allow hand counts. Thank you.
Thank you. Next. Good morning.
Morning.
Hi.
I'm Carolyn Lucas from 34097 County Road M, still in Mancos, Colorado. Amen. And I'm here to speak on election integrity. And I'm going to go ahead and read excerpts from an interview done by Professor David Clemens with vulnerability expert Jeff Lundberg. This interview was posted on May 28th on the Conservative Daily podcast. And it is available. There's a long affidavit to support the expertise that Jeff Lundberg has. You can listen to the podcast and hear of his extensive experience. The big lie, so this is from Professor David Clemens. The big lie is that we have secure elections. Our election system from top to bottom, every aspect of it has been subverted and made weak, ineffective, and it's got a veneer painted over the top of it with checklists, 50 bullets long, that they make people think if you check off those bullets and check off every little box, you have a secure election, but that's not the case at all. In fact, the largest, in my expert opinion, the largest portion of the cheating is done systematically, using the machines, using the equipment, and that's what people don't want to talk about or think about. But I've had the opportunity to look into various details of this in multiple states, even though they try to keep us from looking at anything and block us out of everything, and no one's willing to admit it, and no one's willing to deal with it. Professor Halderman shows how a single dishonest poll worker can subvert an election by hacking into Dominion voting machines. That system is currently used in 16 states, which ours is one. The Halderman report explains that the machines are so vulnerable that no software patches will actually help to make them better. Not only can a single poll worker change the election, but the changes cannot be detected by any audit, and especially not by a hand count. In other words, the machines are garbage. That's just one of the several examples of things that we know are wrong with the machines, and yet no one will say we've got to decertify these machines. Let me give you an example. We spend billions and billions of dollars on protecting our nuclear weapons. Now, if I knew that there was a nuclear weapons at a particular facility and I found a big hole in the fence, you think I'd just leave it there and ignore it and say, well, we've never seen anybody steal a nuke through a hole, so we don't need to patch that hole. We don't need to fix that part of the system because, hey, we've never observed anybody actually stealing a nuke. Well, that's what we've done on our election system. Everywhere you look, it's got holes in it, and people will say, well, you can't prove to me that someone stole votes. And oh, by the way, we're not going to let you into the warehouse. We're going to block you out of everything, so you can't see what's going on inside, and then prove to me to someone's done, and we'll think about securing all these holes. It's a ridiculous argument. It appears to me that there was a concerted effort. That's it. But thank you very much.
Thank you. You can leave that for the record, ma'am.
Oh, yeah. You can read the last sentence.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Melanie Feilner, 21439 Road U, Cortez. I'd like to start off first by saying we'd like to clarify we are in no way attacking Mrs. Purcell or any of you guys. I feel that you need to know that up front. Here are some more excerpts from the same interview with Jeff Lundberg. So this is the biggest concern I have actually on this system. All I needed to do was modify the tabulator, didn't have to touch the EMS, and I got shifted results. I know those election files. I can just modify election files and get the shift. All of the experts, Halderman and Sissa and everybody says the elections are safe because everybody would have to go modify the election files on the EMS to be able to cause shifts like this to occur. That is a lie. That is pure, unadulterated lie, and they know it because that's not where the election files are created. In 99% of the cases, I'm sure they're created by the third party, the voting machine company. They're designer software. They send them the information. They create the ballots. They create the election files. They are actually encrypted. That then is handed to the county. All the county has to do is burn those files onto the media that's taken in the tabulators. They're just passing it through. And they put everything on the internet, cloud-based software, and the canvas is complete. They take that USB drive, which has read-write capability, and they put it back in their county EMS computer. Our Secretary of State calls this protecting the air gap. Because that's the gap, right? Use the USB to move the data over. But this is the opposite of protecting an air gap. By using a USB that other people have handled that isn't actually secure, and you're downloading data onto a computer that supposedly holds the official elections, it's just a farce. Their systems, their software, even according to Halderman, is so poorly done security-wise. Do you think it would be hard to break into their system and put a hack in it to put this stuff into the election files? The answer is no, it wouldn't be hard at all. So an external party could have gotten into their software to create it and make these sort of changes to occur. And it flows down to every tabulator in the country. One single set location, 1 point subverted can flow down to every tabulator of that model, of that variety or that vendor in the county. I've looked, now this is Lundenberg again, I've looked at their log files. I mean, they push a button and it goes 200 different things for one button push. It generates the election files. Professor Clemens asked, the vulnerability that you observed in Michigan, have you observed in the same tool in other jurisdictions across the county? Absolutely. It was in Maricopa County, that's Arizona. I had access to those hard drives there, the forensics on those, and it was on those, and it was in New Mexico. By the way, with no password, absolutely. Not only was the tool on there, it didn't require a password to get into it. So I'm not going to go into the rest of this. I'm going to give it to you for record, though. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next. Next.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Good
Yeah,
morning.
You're good.
My name is Paulette Gassner. I'm at 15325 Road 22. And I, too, am very concerned about our elections and the integrity. Do you know that you can vote in person in Montezuma County and actually all counties in Colorado? After talking with people that came by the Republican Women's booth at the Ag Expo, Home and Garden, and Gun Show, we learned that few people knew that they could actually vote in person or how to do it. Mail-in ballots are one of the sources of fraud in our elections. COVID pandemic forced mail-in ballots in all states, so there is a problem there. If you've not seen, I think you were provided, have you not seen the documentary 2,000 Mules? It obviously and conclusively demonstrates incredible amounts of illegal ballot harvesting using mailing ballots. I voted in person. 23 and 24, the Montezuma County Election Office did a superb job of setting up the county annex building for voting. It was efficient and took very little time. You go to the annex building, you don't have a big sign, present your ID, do not use your mail-in ballot, bring it with you in case you says you already voted, and don't turn it in either, destroy it after. Sign an affidavit who you are, who you say you are, and that you want to vote in person. A new ballot will be printed, fill out the ballot, private space, complete your ballot, put it in the box, and you're done. You've already been verified by the election judge. So you are done. You have now done one of your most important duties as a citizens of these United States, and feel great doing it. It's not a big sign at the annex. It's obvious that our county election office doesn't want us to vote in person. It's more work for them and costs them more money. I'm sorry. Kim Purcell to make a statement that undeliverable mail-in ballots cost the county a lot of money in return postage costs, and printing these mail-in ballots cost a lot of money too. How many were never used at all? According to the voting report for president's primary election, only 46% of the ballots were used. How much money was wasted? If we just printed ballots on the spot, people that really wanted to vote, money would be saved. A few people have said that they like mail-in ballots because it's convenient, but voting should not be easy and convenient. According to one podcaster, voting should be hard. We should have put forth an effort, plenty of careful thought and research. We should want to vote, make a trip to our voting place, and it's been done in our country successfully for over 200 years. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next.
Good morning, Commissioners, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to us. My name is Alan Mays, 21693 County Road 21 in Lewis. I wasn't going to speak today, but with these folks that came up to talk about election integrity, I wanted to just say there are issues across the country, across our state even, that election integrity is something important. Voting, of course, is important, and as they've said, it needs to be done fairly and across the country. So elections need to be trusted. With the surveys that show that there's a lot of mistrust, I do too think that the public needs to be listened to. If they don't like it, maybe try something like the hand count alongside the machines, just to help verify to them. If that answers their questions, then that would be great. I attended the LAT, the logic and accuracy test here Thursday. I went to a forum on Saturday where the election folks gave a good presentation. These presentations are being done all over the state, and you have to wonder why. Why are they trying to tell everyone the same story, that the machines and everything are just fine? They're trying to give everyone that same story. But I think that if there is a concern, I think they should be listened to. We have a small county here. We have a few number of voters, but if they're uncomfortable, 100 and some people passing by a booth and signing saying they don't trust the machines, that should be listened to, especially when the number of voters that do turn out is not as high as it should be. We want trust so that that number will be increased. This is a very important election year, and I would like to see everybody come out. And so if there is a potential for November to have a side-by-side hand count, that would be wonderful. And I do agree that it isn't the staff that's here that is the concern. It is the bigger picture. So I want to thank you very much. One last thing on election integrity that kind of covers that. The first item on the agenda that follows public comment has two things included in it. It does make it confusing, so if you can fix those kinds of things, you just need a paragraph break so you know you have two items rather than one. But thank you for listening to us all about election integrity. I think that it is an important issue, and so please pass it along. Make the public feel a little better about their government officials do pay attention to them. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next. Okay, seeing no other public comment, I'll close the public comment session of this meeting, and we will move on to unfinished business. Kim, you have this first one. We talked about it. Do you want to go over it, or do you want me just to give a quick synopsis? Okay. All right, so this is just an intergovernmental agreement that we have between Montezuma County and County Clerk and Recorder to conduct the administration of the 2024 general election. This is basically something that's out there every year for the purpose of an intergovernmental agreement between the other municipalities and facilities. So with that, this is nothing new. Gentlemen, do you have any questions?
No.
All right, what is your pleasure?
Go ahead.
I move to approve this intergovernmental agreement and appoint Travis Anderson as the designated election official.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept this intergovernmental agreement by and between Montezuma County and the Montezuma County Clerk and Recorder for the conduct and administration of the 2024 general election to be held on November 5th, 2024, and with Travis Anderson, our designated election official. Is there any discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You gonna vote?
Aye, yeah, sorry. I had
Travis.
a question, quick.
Okay. Moving right along, the second is not a bullet point that we will address at this time. The next one is a BJA Bulletproof Vest Partnership Program. If you want to come down, Mr. Dobry. And I'll let you give a quick synopsis of this one. We did talk about it yesterday in our workshop, and I will give it to Robert.
Yeah, I just wanted to be available if there were any additional questions. The BJA, which is the Federal Bureau of Justice Assistance, has a bulletproof vest cost share grant. They pay for half, and the local municipality, the county, pays for half as well. So that's really about it for that. The total for this project is $14,220, so the grant amount is $7,110.
Okay.
I would so move we approve the BJA Bulletproof Vest Partnership Program in the amount of $14,220.
Second.
This is a grant application, sorry.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept the Montezuma County Grant Application Submission Form for the Bureau of Justice Assistance Program for Bulletproof Vests in the amount of $14,220. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we also were awarded the 24-25 Court Security Cash Fund Grant Award in the amount of $65,000. This went in as a grant application submission form. I think we did this in April,
For April 9th, yes.
and we were awarded this, so we do have this $65,000 reimbursement. Is there anything else you need to add to this one?
No, I think you covered that. Thank you.
Okay, this is all I need is a signature then.
Absolutely.
Okay, do we need that in a formal motion, Ian?
I would.
That we accept it, okay.
I move to sign the 24-25 Court Security Cash Fund Grant Award of $65,000.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the 2024-25 Court Security Cash Fund Grant Award in the amount of $65,000. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, the next one is the CDPHE, Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment Overdose Data in Action for a 24-25 grant. And Robert, I'll give it to you.
This is a renewal of a grant that we currently have through the state of Colorado. It's the state of Colorado, but it's a federal grant through the state of Colorado. They pay for toxicology expenses related to overdose, alcohol and overdose, with some specific things. But they pay 100% of those as long as it is an applicable toxicology expense. It's up to $45,000 for the year. The renewal would start in September.
Correct, and also too, when this was presented yesterday, the number did change. It did go down a little bit, but it was just due to some minor.
No, that's a different one.
Is that a different one?
Yeah, that's the
Oh,
next
this is
one.
the
That's the
toxicology.
obvious
Okay,
one. Yeah.
45,000.
Yeah, up to
Right.
45,000. We, in the first quarter, we report this quarterly and get reimbursement quarterly, was about $2,500. So that's kind of what we expect it'll be per quarter.
Per quarter, okay.
But obviously, it could change based on circumstances in the community.
All right. Question?
No.
Okay.
I would so move we approve the CDPHE, Colorado Department of Health and Environment Overdose Data in Action 2024-2025 grant and application in the amount of up to $45,000.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the Montezuma County Grant Application Submission Form to CDPHE in the amount of up to $45,000 for reimbursement. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. The next one then is also with CDPHE, and this is for the Public Health Planning and Local Partnership Funding. Go ahead, Robert.
This grant in the amount of $203,630 is, as you mentioned, it's public health practice and planning local partnership. It funds a portion, 2 FTEs total, plus some other expenses for public health. It funds part of their core functions that public health is required to do by the state already. And this is a renewal, and you would need to authorize Commissioner Candelaria to sign the executed amendment.
Okay.
Yeah.
I move we approve this CDPHE Office of Public Health Practice Planning and Local Partnership grant application submission form in the amount of $203,630.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the Montezuma County Grant Application Submission Form with CDPHE for the Office of Public Health Practice Planning and Local Partnership in the amount of $203,630. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. And then we just need an approval for a signature for 2425 OE PR grant.
And that's the Office of Emergency Response and Preparedness.
And this is also one that was presented to us yesterday, and I did look, and I do have that via DocuSign.
Yeah, okay. So moved that we authorize the chairman to sign the OEPR grant 2425 with the Office of Department of Public Health and Environment.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept and sign the OEPR grant 2024-2025, and to sign this. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, there you go. Do you have anything else? That's it. All right. Thank you, Robert. All right, moving right along, we're going to go into our county attorney's report. Mr. McLaren.
Okay. We received a reply from Ironwood related to the brief that or the motion that they filed to terminate the amended stipulated injunction. They filed that some weeks ago. CDPHE and the county filed a joint response, and now Ironwood has filed their reply. There's nothing in the reply that's new from the original motion that they filed. In essence, Ironwood has made an argument that the wood chip / pile, as it's defined in the injunction, has been eliminated, and that all that's left on the site is veneer, and that veneer is not wood waste. So we've submitted our reply, or our response to that, and now we'll await a court's ruling. I don't find the argument particularly persuasive, but that's the argument that they've made. And so we have responded, and now we'll just await a ruling from the court. As of this time, the fines continue to accrue, and we continue to seek ways to implore Ironwood to take action and clean up the mess that's been created at the mill site. Yesterday, I spoke with an attorney who represents Leaf Properties. That's the property that applied for the permit to have the Dollar store off of Road 145. They are in the process of, they have drafted a complaint, and it's been filed. That we have not been served with it yet. I anticipate waiving service on that complaint probably today. But in essence, they have filed a complaint. There's two elements to the complaint that they filed. They filed a Rule 106 action, which is basically an action asking the court to review the decision that this board made denying the application for the high-impact permit that would allow for the Dollar store. The argument is that the commissioner's denial of that application was arbitrary and capricious, and so that will go before the court. There's a second prong to the complaint that they filed. In essence, what they have argued is that the high-impact permit criteria that's set forth in the land use code is not specific enough to give applicants adequate direction as to what can or can't be approved. And there's an argument in there that the county hasn't done enough to work with applicants before these applications come forth to give them an idea of what can or can't be approved. And so, I'm just working through that again. I just received it yesterday, and we'll have 3 weeks to respond, and we will get a response, and then that process will begin moving through the courts. So, the Rule 106 action is certainly something that we typically see. That second prong is a little bit different than what we typically see, because really what it's questioning is the validity of our land use code. And so I'll continue to work through that and update you guys as I do. The county attorney conference is this week. I'll be leaving tomorrow for that. That runs Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so I'll leave tomorrow afternoon for that. It's in Breckenridge this year. It's always a great opportunity to network with other county attorneys around the state. They break that conference into large counties and small counties, and it's always interesting to see what other smaller counties like ourselves are dealing with around the state. A lot of county attorneys present, and a lot of them deal with things that we either have dealt with or will eventually deal with. It's pretty surprising how universal the issues that counties across the state deal with. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to networking with folks and hopefully learning some good information about some of the things that counties are facing. That's all I have to report.
Thank you. All right, well, actually, before, I do have one question for you, and it's
Sure.
maybe going back to Ironwood, but what is veneer if it's not wood waste? If it's just sitting in a pile, I mean, and not, I guess I'm.
Well,
I'm a
certainly
little-
we have.
Same question.
So the county and CDPHE have made the argument that the veneer is wood waste.
It's wood laying on the ground outside.
The argument
Waste is wood waste.
The argument, yeah, I understand where you're coming from, and that's the argument that we made, Commissioner. But yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, all right, thanks. Travis?
Was at CCI last week, had a bunch of great breakout sessions. One was for administrators related to House Bill 211110 and working through that. We also had another breakout session regarding workforce, and kind of interesting was the average age of retraining is 70 plus, so that was kind of interesting information.
You're saying I need retraining?
For if you want a new job skill, sir, yes.
Oh, okay.
I can tell you, Travis and I were in that class together, and the minute that presenter said that, we both immediately turned and looked at each other, and we're like, did we hear that right? 70 years old? So it's kind of bizarre, but that's the new workforce at 70 years old, and I was shocked and amazed and like, you got to be kidding me, but.
And we also have a SEER employee from the federal government helping the VSO office. So and I'll let you gentlemen expound on CCI in your breakouts.
All right, very good. Commissioner Copenhaver.
I don't know where to start off since some of us are in that 70-year-old age group. Almost sounds like you guys are picking on us, making us work forever.
They know a good thing when they see it.
It was a good conference that all of us attended last week, and the networking, visiting with other county commissioners and stuff around the state always gives you some new perspectives on different problems and all of the issues that come down with the legislature every year. So all of that was good. But the rodeo's going to be this week out here. Hope people can attend. I think it'll be a good event. Should be pretty good crowds each night. So if you haven't got your tickets, probably a good idea. Support the community. So.
And apparently, in the old days, you used to get thrown in jail. Never heard of that, but there's a separation of age here, so
Yeah, hot dang, let's go.
somebody might remember that, but I sure don't remember getting thrown in jail to buy a rodeo ticket.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Commissioner Lindsay.
Yes, like the other commissioner and Travis stated, we did go to CCI. One of my expectations going up there was to hear about the new tax laws that are coming down in our state, and I was disappointed. There's a lot of I don't knows up there yet, and it's kind of scary when your state officials are saying I don't know. Two things to watch out for is Amendment 50, and it's on the ballot already, and there's one being created called Amendment 108, and that's very disastrous to our rural hospitals. So keep an eye on those. I don't know if it'll make the ballot yet or not, but I heard that they've got enough signatures, but we'll see. And I did attend the Legion Memorial Day breakfast. It was very well attended and a very good ceremony and a lot of good comments about our VSO and our applicants that were there, the SEER person and our new person coming in August? Yeah, so look forward to that. That's all I have.
Okay, very good. I'll give a few highlights that we had. All three of us gentlemen, along with our administrator, attended the Western District meeting, which is 16 counties that all reside in the western part of the state of Colorado, which are all fighting basically the same thing. One of them, which was highlighted, was water, and I'll let Commissioner Copenhaver speak more to this one, but it was on the Shoshone power plant that actually is on the Colorado River in Glenwood Canyon, and how that's going to take place. We had a quick and short discussion on the national monument, because there were only 5 counties that obviously that may affect. 2 right now is Mesa and Montrose County, which all of those counties were there together. We did have a presentation from the BLM, and again, I put this out there of, when are we going to deal with all of these orphan lots that we have around here, specifically in our county, that are still just sitting and waiting because they don't have any real estate agents that can, he said, work for the government. So in other words, they can't get their own property, their assets to be reduced. So it's something that we're going to have to continue to work on with them, because they just don't have enough personnel in their real estate departments. But they can buy. It seems like they always can buy more property, so a little bit confusing. Like Commissioner Lindsay said, I think we all attended the tax discussion with a couple of the senators, both bipartisan, of how they came up with that plan, and then now we'll just have to figure out how to implement it and deal with it, and we will go from there. But watch 50 and watch 108 if it does make the ballot, and really be mindful of what you're reading and how it will affect you in the community as a whole. And with that, that is all I have to report.
On the Shoshone power plant that he's talking about, it's a power plant on the Colorado River. Basically, had a water right for 1,250 second foot of water. It's a non-consumptive water right, so there's not, the water just is diverted. It runs through a tunnel for about 3 miles, a little less than 3 miles, runs through a power plant and goes back into the river. That power plant is kind of like some of us that they're talking about, the 70-year-old deal. It's out of date. It's not producing anything that breaks down in there. They have to have parts machined. They were talking about a lot of the parts they had to have machined were done in Switzerland. So in order to keep that thing functioning, it's going to shut down. If we lost that water right, part of it could be diverted going to the eastern slope. Okay, and actually Denver Water had the first priority to buy that water right. They actually gave that up a few years ago, and the Colorado River District is purchasing that water right to keep it in that river, because that would take a large consumptive amount out of that river if that water right was sold someplace else. So they're trying to keep it in there, but it's a lot of money, $100 million. They're raising money to keep that water in the Colorado River, and basically that provides a lot of water on downstream to users in the Grand Junction and all that whole area there. So it's a good thing to keep it in there. I think personally, it's something that needed to be done, and they're working through the process of getting enough money raised to get it done, and they're getting there. So I think it's going to be a good thing for the Colorado River in the long run. We need to keep it there.
All right. Thank you. Always water in the state of Colorado, specifically on the western slope, is something that we always fight for. And every time we can keep our water here, we really try to do that. So a lot of discussion around that. So thank you again, Commissioner Copenhaver.
One other thing, we all received a letter to disclose, publicly disclose and release within 1 year from your receipt of this letter for if we have any information in our possession of UFOs and UAPs. So we will discern this and try and get our information together if we have any and get it out there. So I'll give this to the clerk and she can enter it in the public record.
Pretty sure we don't have any information, but we will address everything as we always do. Kim, do you have anything that you'd like to report out on? Okay. All right.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn this June 4th, 2024 meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.